And what's up, replay viewers? Let's see who tunes on in. The ABX girl, first one in the room, and Activity 79, welcome. Good to see you, Diana Lee. And Charles, welcome. Good to see you, Leela. And Diana Lee, welcome. Good to see you, Jack Spencer. And Dave in Bangor, Maine, welcome. Good to see you, Stephanie Gray and Diana Lee. And Phyllis 2284, welcome. Good to see you, RJ out there in Colorado, welcome. Good to see you, Southern Pacific, and Dave Jeffries in Niagara Falls. Good to see you, Wilbs, and good to see you, RJ. Good to see you, Stephanie Gray. Good to see you, Ivan Hernandez. Good to see you, Activity 79 and Brian Bell. Welcome. Good to see you, Jay Chulo. Welcome. And Colleen. Welcome. Good to see you, Chris MG Vlogs. And good to see you there, Sean. Bagels and Walks. Everyone follow Bagels and Walks. Good to see you there, Nadine Smith. And Sally Skipico, welcome. Good to see everybody. Welcome to a very unexpectedly very cold Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. You're not late. We're only starting up there, Hugh. I don't have a schedule, so there's no such thing as being late. You're here now. We're only 4 minutes into, well, barely 4 minutes into the stream. A beautiful day indeed, Activity 79, but all of a sudden, very cold. It feels colder out here than it does in the city. And I forgot my gloves at the office, and I definitely need them because it's cold. So I'm gonna have to be switching up my hands as we make our way around the park. I heard some of the trees are blossoming over by the Unisphere, so I want to show you guys the trees blossoming over by the Unisphere. Good to see you, Neville 6000 out there in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and Naboul from the south of France. Welcome. Good to see you, John Burke, and photos from around New York. And everyone check out Naboul's channel. Naboul's a fine live streamer from the south of France. He live streamed Carnival out in Saint-Tropez. You want to check that out. He live streamed that on yesterday, Sunday. I am all thrown off. I usually don't work on Mondays, but they begged me to come into work on Monday. Stephanie Gray, the tour went great. It was just two people from the Netherlands, a mother and a son. And first time in New York, they had a great time and they tipped. So thank you. But it was good. It was a good tour. Train Watch, good to see you, Train Watch, welcome. Good to see everybody, people. What are we at here? Can we get, oh, we're almost at 50 likes. Once we get to 50 likes, we'll activate the legs. Rosalind Brown is hearing two voices. Is there something wrong with the audio? Let me know, everyone, if something's wrong with the audio. Good to see you, Mr. Metalhead Warrior. And the mosaics are not doing great, right? Yes, the mosaics are in terrible shape. Good to see you, Ramona, out there in North Carolina. Had a giant King Kong and a giant grasshopper on Carnival. Saw some still pictures of that, Naboul. That was amazing. Good to see you, Karen J. McLean. Welcome. Ivan asks, how was my St. Patrick's Day? My St. Patrick's Day was great. Good. Is the audio good? Okay, awesome. Yeah, sometimes people don't understand how their equipment works and then they throw me off. It happens all the time. It's a live stream thing. But good to see you, Lisa UK girl. Good to see you, Karen J. McLean. Good to see you, Walter Eng out there in Westchester. Good to see you, Dave in Dartmouth. Audio is fine on your end. That's a beautiful thing. Dave Jeffries. Good to see you, Esteban Fernandez. Welcome. Apple, Amazon, Google from Amsterdamski. Welcome. Sound is good. Awesome. Everything is good. Yes, I don't know what happens sometimes. Nadine Smith remembers the World's Fair, 1964. Yeah, Nadine, you got to visit this World's Fair. I obsess over the 64-65 World's Fair. So I'll show you some, what we'll see today is we'll skip, we're going to skip Rocket Park USA, but we'll see, we'll go by the Time Capsule, we'll go by the New York State Pavilion, we'll go out to the Vatican Pavilion and the Column of Jerash. So yeah, could be on their phone and on their TV, exactly. It is cold outside, Ivan. It got colder out here. Sound is great, awesome. Those sheds up ahead are from the World's Fair. Well, I wouldn't consider these sheds. These are concrete buildings that lead you into the entrance to the LIRR and number 7 train. This structure actually was built, for the 1939-1940 fair. So yeah, these are historic structures, but I wouldn't call them sheds. But now this building I would call a shed. That's where you pick up a hot dog and a drink. And that's what I just had. I just had a hot dog and a drink while charging up the phone. Naboul, no panorama today. The museum is closed. The Queens Museum is open from Wednesday to Sunday. Wednesdays to Sundays, Mondays and Tuesdays, the museum is closed. So no museum today, unfortunately. No nice warm place for me to use the bathroom. But we'll hang out here in Flushing Meadows regardless. But I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Had a hot dog here too, Nibble. Yeah, I just had a hot dog. 126 people liking and 70 likes. Let's get to 100 likes and I'll start moving around my legs. Ivan hasn't been here since 2021. Awesome. Well, hope I bring back some memories for you. Right over there is the Billie Jean King Tennis Center, where we have our U.S. Open. Good to see you, Adriana. Welcome. Good to see everybody, people. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. Hope everyone's having a great Monday. Good to see you, John Capola. Fabulous today for all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The sun is out, but it's cold. It got colder out here, it feels like. Julie B. Good to see you, Julie B. Welcome. 121 people watching and only 74 likes. Let's keep on hitting that like button. Let's get to 100. Let's break the 2/3 ratio and activate my legs here in Queens and Flushing Meadows. Should get some great screenshots today. You're a sucker for cherry blossoms. Me too. This is where the first Men in Black movie was set. I think it was, Neville. I forget about those Men in Black movies. But yes, indeed. You need more likes? Yes, indeed. Make this man move. Ah, awesome, Ivan. Awesome. But yeah, show me some appreciation. All you got to do is hit that like button. Hitting that like button helps me out tremendously in the algorithm. Don't the clouds look good? Yeah, photos. I agree. Very beautiful clouds, even though at times they create shade that makes it cold. But I hear the cherry blossoms around the Unisphere are blossoming, and I will be looking out for the sketchy scooter guys. Yes, indeed, Jack. I think they come around when it gets dark, so. Oh, does Lego make a cherry blossom set? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. 87 likes and 117 people watching. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. Good to see you, Strawberry Fields. Welcome. Exactly. 20 more likes and we activate the feed. You love the clouds in Florida. It makes walking easier under the clouds. I could imagine. And your cat is appreciating the show as usual. That's awesome, Karen. You're more than welcome for going to the Ghostbusters display. It's going to be up for 2 weeks, so we're going to probably be there again sometime later on this week. Even though we do have some more cherry blossom stuff happening, so. But yes, it was so much fun going to that display. And I had to show it to you guys because, you know, it's only going to be up for so long and the movie's coming out and whatnot. So, yeah. But good to see you, Cliff Padilla. Welcome. Good to see you, Robinson Lopes. Welcome. Refreshing Brooklyn. Yes. Are you refreshing the Brooklyn Battalion? I think it's going to be next week, Sean. Sean, I think it's going to be next week. Verizon had to reset the laptop. Awesome. Good to see you, Tammy Woodbury, out there in Ohio. Welcome. It feels like it has gotten colder out here. It was a little bit warm. Then again, we are out in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens. Caught up on the replays. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. But the agenda today is to walk around the Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, and hopefully see some blossoming cherry trees around the Unisphere today. That is the idea. Jonathan Earl, how was work, right? Fantastic. You and 5 persons in your head are enjoying the show, but you could only give 1 like. I appreciate that, Nibble. I appreciate that. Mark Freeman, good to see you. Good to see everybody, people. Let's hit 100 likes, and then you'll activate my legs. Whoa, we had 102 likes. You could activate my legs. Here we go, guys. Let's enjoy a beautiful day here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens. Deep in Queens. And it is windy and cold. When did it get windy and cold? My God. When did it get so windy and cold? Good to see you, Travis Weeks. Welcome. Here's the man who turned this forgotten land into a beautiful park. Here's the man, himself. Well, not looking good, but Robert Moses. Thanks to Robert Moses, we have Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Stephanie Knorr, good to see you. And the piece of Salvador Dali art right there. And then this is the sad one. This is the Fountain of the Planets. I'm surprised they let these mosaics just go the way they did. Because these are really nice mosaics. It's such a shame. So many people come around here for the U.S. Open in the summertime and all these other events. That it's really a shame. Good to see you, Michelle. Good to see you, Sandra. Good to see you. I love the 80s. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hall of Science. I appreciate that, JR. Good to see you. And here's good old, even Elsie's beginning to chip away. What a shame. Elsie the cow from 3940 Fair. Good to see you, Rouge Jones. Welcome. Good to see you, Beach Mum. No, there is absolutely no reason to not restore these mosaics. And they just gave up on these other two. No doubt you could watch one of my old replays and see what those other two mosaics were. But welcome, anyway, welcome to Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens. John asks, am I near the Arthur Ashe Stadium? It's right over there. It's right over there, John. Good to see you, William, out there in Brooklyn. Welcome. The Arthur Ashe Billie Jean King Tennis Center is all right here. And then on the other side of the train tracks over here, on the other side of the LARR tracks, that's where Citi Field is. So now you have reference to where we are here in the beautiful Queens, and a very rare day when I come all the way out here just to walk the park. So I'm literally just gonna walk the park and hop on the train and go home. So, because there is no museum to visit, but it got cold out here, man. It got cold. Cold out there in Sweden. Yeah, I need I'm gonna definitely need a hot coffee when I get back to Coney Island, that's for sure. I could feel it already. Watching on your TV, awesome. The planes are making the approach to 3-1, so they do a really wild left-hand turn over the park. Nice plane spotting today. If you're over in Flushing Bay. But of course, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, home to not one, but two World's Fairs. Of course, a real World's Fair and a fake World's Fair. 1939, 1940 World's Fair was a real World's Fair. Oh. We're having a New York moment here. Got some characters here in the park. Yeah, did we have a fake spring? It's freezing. Sean, I'm convinced that it was warmer this morning than it is right now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I missed the LL Cool J statue. Yeah. You're refusing to pay $20. Yeah, Strawberry Fields, that's the kind of market the U.S. Open appeals to, is the upclass kind of people who don't care about paying $20 for a bottle of water. Anyway, Convention of Vests says they get ready to clean the park or do something. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, Karen. I don't know what they're going to do. But let's go say hi to the first landmark we're going to see here in the park, and that's good old George Washington. Good to see you, Din Din. Welcome. So, yeah, LL Cool J had Activity 79. If you watch some of my replays, there was an LL Cool J statue here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. He used to play music and everything, and I think they moved him to the Hip Hop Museum over in the Bronx, if I'm not mistaken. But check out the replays and actually heard that statue perform. Barry Garrett, good afternoon. But now we're going to walk over here to this statue. This statue is a remnant of the 1939-1940 World's Fair. This is part of the Freemason Pavilion. And I believe this has been moved. It's not in its exact spot. I was doing some research and I think they moved this statue. Yeah, Nibble, I've kind of memorized the park. Ah, awesome, Ivan, awesome. Yeah, I kind of memorized this little walk. And kind of memorize this. Oh yeah, we definitely got some really nice color over there. I think we got some trees beginning to bloom or in pre-bloom. Woo! It's freaking cold out here. Yep, can't follow the bikes around here, that's for sure. Good to see you, Neil, out there in Flatbush. Welcome. Can't follow the bikes or mopeds out here because they're all going in different directions. It's not like Central Park that. It's like Central Park's kind of linear. This is not like that. Good old George Washington. Still morning out there in Hawaii, watching with your daughter for a month. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Here's good old George. I appreciate that, Nibble. It's not easy to memorize all this. But the first Master Masonic Lodge, Alexandria, Virginia, 1788. Here's the one, the only, the George Washington. Good to see you, Ibrahim. Welcome. Jonathan Earl asks, very relevant to the live stream at the moment. Do I ride a rodeo or a mountain bike? I ride a hybrid. I ride a hybrid. I don't know why you're asking that, but if I go to Staten Island, the Ferry Hawks. Ooh, really? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, you can go to Staten Island Ferry Hawks game. You get fireworks. Yeah, we got to go to a Ferry Hawks game. Those are fun. I do have the memory of an elephant. Yes. That's why when people throw in random stuff in the chat, I'm like, what? Anyway, you love the Ferry Hawk game, Cynthia? Awesome. Yeah, I'm cold. I wonder what Google Gemini thinks of George Washington. Hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who Google Gemini even is. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're more than welcome. But we could get a reasonable. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Sean. Anyway, I got people playing some soccer, real football out here. Got some people playing football. Got that big flagpole off in the distance there. That flagpole was originally built for the 1939-1940 fair. Later on, incorporated into the 64-65 fair. Looking off in that direction, you're looking out towards the Fountain of the Planets. Ivan Hernandez asks, have I been to Pelham Bay Park? Yes, I have, but I live streamed there a very long time ago, Ivan. Probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, on Periscope. And there was no signal really out there. I'm hoping to go back out there in the near future and live stream from there. Fountain of the Planets, off in that direction. And we definitely have some trees coming out here, so let's walk the fountain. Let's walk the fountains. Got a lot of these little scooters around here. Les Nosa, Kia Ora. Aloha MXP, you're up again, awesome. Love the World's Fair every Monday, only 25 cents. There you go. Only 25 cents. Can you imagine? You're more than welcome, Diana. Hey! Oh, it's nice out here. Well, once you get moving, it's nice out here. I like the crisp air, but it is cold. Once you get still, it is cold. But here we are once again. Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, Queens. Making our way over to the Rocket Thrower. Rocket Thrower, a statue built for the 1964-65 World's Fair. I'm surprised there's members of the Parks Department out here, and there's like these scooters everywhere. It's cold. Yeah, Karen, I can honestly say that from the morning to now, it feels like it was warmer this morning. So no, unfortunately, there's no water. They don't really put water in this reflecting pool anymore. I don't think they've done it for quite some time. CB Earth Day out there in the Netherlands. Welcome. Oh wow, we have people from the Parks Department all around the park, and there's broken glass right here. Well, that's nice. Well, that's nice. Hopefully they clean it up. But there he is from 1964-65 World's Fair, the rocket thrower. One of my favorite statues here in the city. Yeah, it gets a lot colder out today than you thought. Yeah, no, it was MC Dirty Jersey. It feels like it's gotten colder since the morning. It could be because I'm out here in Queens, but there it is as the camera tries to figure out exposure. With the beautiful rocket thrower right there. He may need to cover up a little bit. He might be cold. They cleaned him up recently, so he looks a lot better than he has in the past. No, they don't make art like they used to. Nay, I agree. They don't. Good to see you, Brandon Tyler Productions. Welcome. Good to see you, Brian Davis. Welcome. So it looks like a lot of the trees here in Flushing Meadows are in pre-bloom. Looks like the trees are in pre-bloom here. Maybe Instagram lied to me, telling me that these trees were blooming. Good to see you, Brett M. How far is the city from the park? Well, Manhattan is about, by subway, about 45 minutes from here to Times Square. And what else? Look at that. Cool, yeah! Yeah! Yeah, go, like, hopefully he crashes it now. Anyway, gorgeous park, not much people. I would say we're like 4 miles away from, 4 or 5, no, maybe more than that, maybe about 5 miles away from Manhattan. Good to see you, Rainier, welcome. Good to see you, Damien, welcome out there in Michigan. The second oldest object in any New York City park is right here. And it looks like still the top of it's still off. A gift from the Jordanian government to the city of New York. This is the column of Jerash. Good to see you, Anthony, welcome. Yes, the 7 train does get you here. I'm losing the chat here because everyone's such an amazing park indeed, Karen. Okay. How many steps do I get a day? It depends, Cohen. Here it is. Second oldest object in all of New York City, right there. Created in 120 AD. Stephanie has a picture of her mom at the 39 Fair. Nice. This is part of the Jordanian exhibit at the 1964-65 World's Fair. There you go, 10.9 miles is according to Google. There you go, Captain Super has it. Susan Ingalls, good to see you, welcome. Here's the dedication rock right here. But now let's see these trees here. Let's really see these trees here. Some of these trees are in, a lot of trees here in pre-bloom. Good to see you there, LS. Welcome out there in California. Wow. You got a little bit of color on the trees here. I think Instagram lied to me. They said that some of the trees, oh yeah, no, they are actually. Oh, let's get over there. Let's get over there and check that out. Yeah, the park is beautiful today. Park is beautiful. By the way, another way to say hello to everyone individually is just say hello, everybody. Anyway, lunch break is over. Got to go back to work. Cynthia, don't work too hard. Oh yeah, these trees. A lot of these trees here are in pre-bloom. It looks like. We're gonna have to head down to the Japanese stand of trees. See what it's like over there. Well, this park doesn't really get busy. It's so big. It's so big, so. Here's a graphic for Nebul. Here's a graphic for Nebul of the top 10 largest parks in all of New York City. Flushing Meadows is the 4th largest park at 898 acres. Getting closer though, yeah. Nebul was waiting for the graphic, yeah. Yeah, once you get moving here, it's nice. It's 10 miles away from the city. Arjan, good to see you. Oh yeah, these are just coming in now. Yeah, that beautiful Unisphere. That thing I never get tired of looking at that thing. I never get tired of looking at this Unisphere. It's so cool. And now that we have red-tailed hawks living in the park here, makes it all the more exciting. And that little hint of purple. Yeah, we're in the Men in Black. All right. So yeah, these trees are just beginning to come in. Good to see you, Jessica. Welcome. Good to see you, Jeanette Trainer. Welcome. Yeah, we got some blossoming trees here. Early signs of spring here at the Unisphere at Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Michelle Blank, good to see you. The new soccer stadium is going to be built on Willets Point. So that's across the street from Citi Field. Technically, Willets Point is part of Flushing Meadows Corona Park, but they never really incorporated it officially into the park. What it was during the 1939-1940 fair, it was a place for where people fixed their tires, got gas for their cars. People were really traveling around in cars in big numbers at that 39-40 fair. So they made lots of places for them to park, and car spas, they are called. But where is this chat even going? I don't even know where this chat is going. Good to see you, Jose Torres. Wepa. Never realized how big the Unisphere was until the live streams. Yeah, it's pretty big. Pretty big. But we got some nice blossoming trees here around the Unisphere. We got little pink leaves on the floor, and yeah, Brad Pitless asks, when's the DC trip? Brad, stay tuned and find out.
pretty this is. Yeah. Got this whole little stand all around here, all coming up. Nice to see the sun. Yeah, as long as the sun stays out, I mean. With the clouds, the Unisphere looks great today. The Unisphere, the largest representation of Earth on the globe, standing as tall as a 13-story tall building. And I want to say it's 800,000 pounds of stainless steel. Good to see you, John. Welcome. Out there in London. Let's see here. Dedicated to the man's aspirations towards peace through mutual understanding and symbolism, his achievements in an expanding universe. Presented by the United States Steel Corporation on April 22nd, 1964. This is the Unisphere. 700,000 pounds of stainless steel standing at 140 feet high with a 120 foot diameter. Yeah, it's big. Good to see you there, Metalhead. Welcome. It is an alien portal, Doobie. Yes, indeed. And Nadine Smith with a $10 super chat. Nadine Smith, thank you so much for the very generous $10 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $5 club 2 times today. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $10 super chat. And Nadine, thank you so much for getting my Metro card out here. It is much appreciated. It is much appreciated. Thank you so much, Nadine Smith, for sponsoring today's live stream. Gorgeous day indeed, Diana. Yes, indeed. Good to see you there. What's that there? Creative Moments? Creative Moments Media. Welcome. The cherry blossoms are coming out here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Well, we got some trees coming out here. Okay, so Instagram, I think Instagram lied to me. I thought these were a lot more pronounced. So the fountain, they usually only turn on the fountain nibble when the US Open's happening. They recently repaired and refurbished the fountains at the Unisphere. So they do like work the way they did back in 1964. Thanks for liking the video. Much appreciated. Look at that. Wow. Oh yeah, yeah, Din. You know, that's the hard part about, you know, trying to capture all these trees blooming. It's next to impossible to just catch all this and like stay with it. Like, you know, this only lasts from what I hear is what, 7 to 10 days. They last at peak bloom. So, yeah. Edgar Gonzalez, good to see you. That's why it's tough for me, like me and the Duchess are trying to figure out when are we going to get down to DC? Because the first day of the peak bloom, it was yesterday. So, oh my goodness. An MXP 2000 with a $5 super chat. MXP, thank you so much for the very generous $5 super chat. Thank you so much for joining today's $5 club. Much, much, much appreciated. With a big $5 super chat. Thanks for sponsoring today's live stream, and thanks for sharing some of your tax return with me. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much. I wish I was tax deductible, but thank you so much, MXP 2000, with a big $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Well, some of the early blooms here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Yeah, this is the problem with bloom time. It only lasts so long. Yeah, I got to get out to Branch Park, or Branch Brook Park, yes. Got to get out there. Let's get one of my favorite views here. You know what I love doing? I love playing with the Unisphere and the position of the sun. It just makes for cool pictures. Good to see you, Jennifer. Welcome. Welcome to Flushing Meadows Corona Park. One of my favorite parks in the city. The trees, as you see, are beginning to blossom. You're more than welcome, Din Din. Yeah, I'm trying to be able to show you guys all of the blossoms. Look at this, look how cool this is. I love doing this. Was there water under the ball the last time? No, the last time we had the fountain turned on, I want to say was when we were here for Amal. When, I think when Amal was here, we had the fountains turned on. But we have been here when the fountains have been turned on. So again, the fountains are usually turned on for the US Open. So other than that, people just hang out here and have a good time. Beautiful blossoming trees, just barely blooming here, just beginning to bloom. The Billie Jean King Tennis Center and the Arthur Ashe Stadium is right down there. Where the Arthur Ashe Stadium stands today, that is where the American Pavilion of the 1964-65 World's Fair stood. But under Mayor David Dinkins, the U.S. Tennis Center expanded quite a bit. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not necessarily a fan of David Dinkins, is because he really is kind of like directed this park into being like a place just for the tennis center. Well, there's your Unisphere right there. And then we got the cool approach coming into LaGuardia today. See how the plane's doing like a wide left-hand turn. It's a visual approach they're doing today. It would make for a cool photo, absolutely. Yeah, no comment on David Dinkins, yeah. You heard a new stadium will be built here for the soccer team. Yes, that's going to happen in Willets Point. Willets Point, kind of across the street from where Citi Field is. And that's where the stadium is going to get built, in a neighborhood called Willets Point. Willets Point technically is part of Flushing Meadows Corona Park. When Robert Moses and the team began to remold this area into what is now the park, Willets Point was part of that original vision, but it never became part of the park. Like I mentioned earlier, back for the 1939-1940 fair, that area became a place where you got your car repaired and whatnot, and you know, got tires and whatnot. And yeah, so basically it was a place for people to park cars and get cars fixed. And eventually what would happen is that area would become a auto body repair chop shop. I don't know the name of the team. Please look that up on Google. Yeah, I would be getting a cool spray when I was hot, yeah. You remember that? Yeah, I think it was for Amal, right? Was that for Amal? Or was that for, we were just down here one day? Anyway, let's take a look. Let's take a look down here where we have the stand of trees. There's another stand of Japanese cherry blossom, Hokkaido or Ohio trees. I always forget the name of them. But they are a gift from the Japanese government to the city of New York. So, LS went to the World's Fair as a kid back in 1965 and rode in the GM car exhibit. The GM exhibit, that was the, remember the General Motors exhibit, that was Futurama 2. The Ford exhibit was the Magic Skyway. That's where you got to sit in an actual car and travel through time. Good to see you, Ron. Welcome. Ah, there you go. Yeah, they had a fountain turned on when the Maloof Money Cup happens. There you go. They are restoring the towers of the New York State Pavilion, which is right over here. So we got some scaffolding around them. They're putting some new lighting structures to recreate the original ones, and there's going to be a stairway. There's going to be they're redoing the stairway inside. Yeah, they did the Skyway too, yes indeed. I would give anything to see the 1964-65 fair. I'm actually walking right where Al Hirt and his band played on top of a mobile television truck right here. That video is here on YouTube. Exactly, if you spend enough money, they'll turn on the fountains. There you go. There you go, Amal did come here and was misted. So yeah, the fountains were on when Amal was here. Well, guess what? MXP, fun fact, the Coney Island steeplechase parachute jump is actually from here. Just across the way over there in the amusement pavilion for the 1939-1940 World's Fair stood the original, well, stood the Coney Island parachute jump. It was called the Lifesavers parachute jump. So that's actually from here. Went over to Coney Island back in 1941, 1942, right after the World's Fair. Cliff Padilla, we actually never stopped having World's Fairs. They're for the most, they have changed their names though. They're called expos now, and they mostly happen out in Asia. And I forgot where the next one's happening. Recently, I mean, there was one in Italy recently, in Milan, and I think there was one in Korea and Dubai, but all out there. You got Tijuana Taxi stuck in your head. Good song. Is it nice outside? It's chilly outside. Arjan, it's chilly outside. Good to see you, Blondie. Welcome. I think they're doing runway 31, Nibble. Yes. I think they're doing runway 31. They're doing the visual approach. There you go. The next expo is in Osaka, Japan in 2025. Yeah, World's Fair still happen. We just, you know, they're not all here. Was there, Todd Scott, was there one in bumfuck Iowa? I know one of the most boring World's Fairs ever was the one in Knoxville in 1982. Am I wearing a winter coat? No, I'm not. Expo 2024 is happening in Mumbai. There you go. I'm just wearing a hoodie with a thermal underneath. The 2023 World's Fair in Argentina was canceled. I didn't even know there was one in 2023. They usually happen once every 2 to 4 years. So also keep that in mind. There you go, Strawberry Fields with the link to the BIE out in Paris. Saludos from the Bronx, Morales. Good to see you. From the Bronx. Yes, indeed, photos. Oh, will they ever bring it back to New York? Probably not, Cliff. The bad taste that Robert Moses left in the BIE's mouth will probably never be quenched. So, wow, look at this, guys. Yeah, there was one in Montreal back in that was 1968, Dwayne. That was the Expo 68, featuring the Habitat. I would live in Habitat in a heartbeat. Look at this, guys. And this isn't fully grown out. Look at this. Neville, I will disagree with that statement. Yeah, had in San Antonio in 68. There you go. Just came from jury duty. Okay, awesome, Sandra. Good to see you, John Nicholson. It's 67, Expo 67 out in Montreal. There you go. Yeah, 67, Expo 67. Good to see you, Lee. Welcome. I told you I show you guys stuff, cool stuff, right? I always show you guys the cool stuff. Yes, Cliff. Couple of Instagrammers out here, I could tell. First bloom here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Have I met Mr. Met? Many times, many times. I met Mr. and Mrs. Met many times. Absolutely. So this stand of trees is a gift from the Japanese government to New York City. These were planted just after the 64-65 World's Fair. So these trees are about 50 years old. And let's see, are they fragrant? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. A little fragrant. It's a shame that this stand of trees is just like out in such a random area. Gorgeous and amazing. I love them too. Yes, indeed. It really is a shame that these trees are just like kind of out here in a random spot, but still pretty nonetheless. Some influencers in the wild just up ahead. Absolutely worthy of a trip. I wanted to show you guys these first blooms because they happen so freaking fast. Only a few trees have begun blooming in out in Brooklyn Botanical Garden. We will be there when it's all in full bloom. Good to see you, Caramax. Welcome. Michelle, beautiful indeed. A perfect place to bring your date. Yes, indeed. Very peaceful, even though we're right next to the highway. We're right next to the highway. I wish these are in a more secluded area, but yeah, the people who drive by them don't even notice them. Now, this means that since these guys are all blooming, that means that these guys have to bloom next. So we get 2 waves of blooms here. Central Park does have some great secluded spots, absolutely. Prospect Park does, yeah. We'll be in Prospect Park too. Like when we do the Brooklyn Botanical Garden, we'll also do Prospect Park. LAB, good to see you. Welcome. And Bat Lady, good afternoon. As long as nobody's shaking the blooms off the trees, I'm happy. Unfortunately, that seems to be, I'm thinking, yes, Nightbot is down. So if people are putting excessive amounts of emojis and typing all in caps, it's not going to do anything. Torrance has Cherry Blossom Festival. Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Have I ever streamed the cemetery with the parakeets? Are you talking about Greenwood Cemetery? Many times. I have already live streamed at Van Cortlandt Park. I did that a couple of times last year. And please stop typing with all caps. Future comments typed in with all caps will be deleted from the chat by me. It's getting awfully distracting. Yeah, Karen, we've been there many times. Yeah, check out the replays. We'll be back there too. Pelham Bay Park has, of course, a lot of secluded spots. It's a massive park. Van Cortlandt Park too has many secluded spots. Very peaceful here, even though we're right next to the highway. Yeah, it's nice here. Yeah, it's pretty nice. There are people here, but I'm doing my best to keep them out of the shop. Now, to give you an idea of where we're at, I think this is the plaque that's dedicated to somebody, right? Of course, somebody tried to destroy the plaque. Well, whoever did this is an asshat. But there you go. Somebody actually hit that plaque with like a hammer or something like that. Anyway, yeah, that's nice traffic ASMR, exactly. Yeah, the highway's like white noise, exactly. So we're right by the Time Capsule, which is just over here. So let's show you the Time Capsule. It's literally right here. What's that circle thing? If you're talking about this is the New York State Pavilion. It was designed by Philip Johnson, and it is a kind of like an outdoor plaza with a covering over it. It's kind of like a covered European plaza, but like Americanized and kind of modernized. And we are in the middle of restoring it. But that is the New York State Pavilion. All of that with the towers and everything is the New York State Pavilion. And right here, welcome to the Westinghouse Pavilion. And this is the Time Capsule. Somebody had a barbecue right here. That's kind of crazy. And somebody tagged all this up. Wow, this park is really, they're not taking care of the landmarks here. It's a shame. Here's a time capsule deposited on September 23rd, 1938 and October 16th, 1965 by the Westinghouse Electrical Corporation as a record of the 20th century civilization. And this time capsule is meant to endure for 5,000 years. Will it last 5,000 years? Who knows? But those cherry blossom trees are all right there, right behind it. Let's continue to enjoy a walk through this beautiful stand of cherry blossoms here. Don't know the exact name of these trees, but these are the type of trees that usually bloom first. Just creates nice colors. Yeah, the tagging does rage me too. Good to see you, Steelhard. Welcome. With the light coming down, it's like really cool, really pretty. Keep on hitting that thumbs up. Can we get to 300 likes? That'll be fantastic. So a bunch of different stuff is in the time capsule, Jessica. That you gotta have to check Google. Google will tell you the contents of both time capsules in their entirety. You're more than welcome, Karen. I'm glad you're enjoying. As long as I keep moving around, I stay warm. As long as I keep moving around, I stay warm. But this is one of my more favorite photo spots here because it's just so cool looking. Susan Barry asks, why did they have to tear down all the pavilions from the World's Fair? Because the World's Fair was always meant to be a temporary experience. The idea behind the World's Fair is that everything kind of accumulates, kind of pops up for 6 months to a year, and then it disappears like nothing ever happened. Usually left over is maybe a landmark or two, but the whole idea is that it's ephemeral and it doesn't last. That's the idea behind all World's Fairs. Yeah, the blossoms are really pretty in the sun right now. And like I said, I'm happy that nobody is kind of shaking the trees or anything like that. Let the wind naturally take off. Let the wind naturally take off the petals. Yeah, the Olympics is just like a World's Fair. Yeah, very much so. Hello there, Jonathan. Welcome. I want to welcome there, Susan. I just hope nobody comes around and starts shaking the trees. Let's see if we have the, there's a plaque over here somewhere. Are there any spots with magnolias in bloom right now? Marv, I don't know. I don't know, Marv. Let's see, this is in, wow, somebody came around and like took a hammer to all the signs or something. Maybe they threw like a heavy rock at it. Somebody came around. Let's see if all these signs are damaged. They weren't like this the last time we saw them just a few months ago. People suck, man. You yelled at the kids in the Roosevelt Island replay. Appreciate that. All right, at least these plaques aren't damaged. Cherry trees presented in friendship from the Japanese American Association. Flushing Meadows, Corona Park, April 3rd, 2000. Are these really from just April 3rd? I thought these were from the World's Fair. There you go. Wow. And then here, to commemorate the Japanese artists who performed at the 1939 World's Fair in Japan Pavilion, we have a tree planted right here. This tree right here. But a couple of the plaques here in this stand of trees, they've damaged the plaques, which is a shame. But you know, people do it. Oh, we got people climbing the nice trees. So thus we will ensure that all of the petals fall off the tree. Just sent a video to your friend? Awesome. A lot of people with mental issues? Absolutely. A lot of people with mental issues. Yeah, Julie, but you know, this park is big, so. This park is big. And you know, it stays open all night. I mean, this park really doesn't close. So. Let's find the nicest tree in the park and climb it. At least they're not shaking it. I'll give them that. At least they're not shaking it. All right. We did our walk around this lovely stand of trees here. Let's continue to walk around the old World's Fairgrounds. Yes, indeed, Strawberry. Yes, indeed. Sal Muscles remembers being at the 64 Fair when he was 10 years old. Awesome. Yeah, kids will be kids. But there's plenty of other trees to climb without nice cherry blossom petals on them. These only last freaking barely 2 weeks. So you gotta enjoy them when you can, because they'll be gone in a flash. Yeah, cherry blossoms, very ephemeral. Absolutely. All right, let's walk around the park a little bit and then we'll probably come back through here one more time for the people who may be just joining us later. We'll come around. That's true, there's a difference between kids enjoying it and kids destroying it. Yeah, that's true. All right, back out through the Westinghouse Pavilion. The New York State Pavilion right across the way. And hopefully this will become a nice, this should be an outdoor music venue. Looked up what's in the capsule, nothing too exciting. No, Jessica, it's meant to be a record of what people were like in 1938 and 1965. Cammy G, good to see you. There you go, you know crabapple trees, there you go. It's good to know. Yeah, it's meant to be a record of what us humans were like. So, there's like pantyhose and I think a pack of Pall Mall and I know there's like a Beatles record in the 1964 time capsule. I guess the only new problem you have to contend with here in the park is all the unlicensed scooters and mopeds. They go rather fast around here. So for anyone newly visiting the park, basically got to keep an eye on that. And it's sad to say that at around sunset, you got to keep your head on a swivel because you don't know if anyone's going to come out and scope you out. Especially if you have photography equipment. I know a lot of photographers like coming out here to Flushing Meadows. So keep your gear close at hand. Because there is kind of many places to exit from around here and whatnot. Good to see you, Darlene. Welcome. No tempo. Nah, no Schaefer, no tempos. Nay, nay, nay. Making our way over to the Vatican Pavilion right now. This was the Astral Fountain. Today, this is the little Maloof skate park here. Actually, it's in a video game. And I have that video game. Maybe I should play it on stream one day. But then right over here, the second most visited pavilion in the whole World's Fair, and that was the Vatican Pavilion. The Vatican Pavilion featured in 1964-65, the Vatican Pavilion featured Michelangelo's Pietà. Or as one person on Facebook called it, Michelangelo's pita. Like pita bread. Where's Michelangelo pita? She said on Facebook. And I was like, it's called Michelangelo's Pietà. Oh, no need for the correction there, sir. Anyway, good to see you, Griff, in Vancouver, Canada. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Making our way over here to the Vatican Pavilion. And then we'll loop around and then we'll go back through that beautiful grove of blossoming trees for the people who may be just joining us later on. But here it is. Shiva, good to see you. How's the weather? It's chilly. Am I using my new camera? I haven't used my new camera yet there, Lisa. I haven't used it yet. Yeah, it was behind bulletproof glass, and you stood on a conveyor belt. So, yeah. You stood on a conveyor belt, and you went past the statue, and it was behind bulletproof. Well, so they say it was bulletproof glass or plexiglass. So, because I think it was in a isolated like chamber, like there was like always clean air in there, and always kept at a constant temperature. Michelangelo's Pietà, everybody. Michelangelo's Pietà. Thank you, sir. I don't need to be corrected. Man. Oh, who did this? And Darlene W. gifting 5 memberships of Dutch Moz Plus. Let's see, who got these memberships here? Thanks to our very dear friend Darlene. Darlene, thank you so much for sponsoring 5 memberships of Dutch Moz Plus. But Bat Lady, Mark Freeman, Norman Roberts, Julio Vallejo, Dave in Bangor, Maine. You guys just got a membership to Dutch Moz Plus. Enjoy the custom emojis. And thank you, Darlene, for sponsoring today's live stream by donating 5 memberships to Dutch Moz Plus. It is much, much, much appreciated. Breaking out the baby Yoda for the afternoon. Welcome to all the new members for the month. Thank you so much, Darlene. Much appreciated. That's $25. Thank you so much. Much, much, much appreciated. Glad you're enjoying, Colleen. Beautiful walk around the park today. Beautiful walk around the park. the Maloof Skate Park right here, where the old Astral Fountain used to stand. The Astral Fountain would have been this tall column of stainless steel with water sprouting all out of it. It looked really cool in the pictures that I've seen of it. Of course, the Tent of Tomorrow, designed by Philip Johnson, used to feature all these multicolored pieces of plexiglass to create a suspended ceiling over the space underneath. Unfortunately, those pieces of plexiglass started falling out in the 70s, so thus they removed all of them. But from what I hear, the tension ring and all of the cabling is still good. So, pretty neat. But from what I hear, they want to turn this space into a performance space. And I, for one, am all for it. A beautiful performance space would be fantastic. The beautiful Unisphere right there. There is a video of the construction of the Unisphere right here on YouTube, and of course the Prelinger archive. Yep, they are restoring it. Yeah, they're restoring the towers right now. And from what I hear, they're going to turn the towers back into observation decks. I don't know if they're going to turn the lower disc into a restaurant. That was originally a restaurant. And I haven't heard anything about them restoring it back to a restaurant, but hey, we're going to get observation decks soon. And then, of course, right over here, this was for the 1964-65 World's Fair, this was the Theater-Rama. And the Theater-Rama featured a presentation about New York State, which showed you all the abundance and all the joy that can be found in the state of New York. It was basically a film presentation that pretty much surrounded you. Today, this is the Queen's Theater. And luckily, this is still very much active. Look at that shot. The beautiful Unisphere. And they don't build them like they used to. Yeah, you know, there were a lot of naysayers for the Tent of Tomorrow, saying that like the foundations were built cheap, and no, like the foundations were, you know, the Tent of Tomorrow and the New York State Pavilion was always meant to outlive the fair. So, you know, there's so many people who like to just nitpick and complain on the internet. It's really a shame. Yeah, the original paint, we figured out the original paint color, which is like Heinz 57 mustard color. American yellow, I think it's called, or something like that. But we're painting that back to its original color. But it's a pretty day here in the park. The Bell Telephone Pavilion, I would give anything to see that. The Bell Telephone Pavilion taught you how binary, there were two exhibits that taught you how binary code worked. And it was the Bell Telephone exhibit and the IBM exhibit. Both telling you about the world and wonders of computers and telephones and telecommunications and satellites. I would give anything to see that. What was it called? From Telstar, from TomTom to Telstar, I think it was called. The Bell Telephone Pavilion. You actually put on headphones on that ride. And you learned how binary code worked. Ones and zeros. And that's what's getting out this broadcast right now to you guys at home. Lots of ones and zeros. The magic of binary code, video compression. My goodness, it's amazing how technology is. And imagine telling people back at that 64-65 fair that I'll be walking around with a computer the size of a candy bar doing this very broadcast in this quality. Again, I will give anything to see that fair. I would give anything to see that fair. Off in the distance, that is the Port Authority Pavilion. Today that is called the terrace in the park. I know, imagine the Bell, imagine Ma Bell people, yeah. Yeah. I mean, technically part of Verizon is NYX and the New York Telephone Company. At least here in New York. We're all connected, New York Telephone. Anyway, they probably would have, I know they probably would have called me a witch back then, yeah. Yeah, using alien technology. Yeah, very much so. This tree here is just beginning to bud. So just starting up, guys. It's springtime in New York. Let's do one more loop around that stand of trees, and then we'll make our way around the park. Maybe around the other side there. Maybe we'll do the other side over there. Actually, if we go down, yes, if we go down this way right here, you know, let's go around. To hell with it. We got some time to kill. We'll go through the stand of trees one more time, then we'll go around. I know, it's pretty crazy, JR. I mean, there were video phones. Yeah, there were video phones that worked over copper lines. And, you know, obviously, you had to be wired in for that. And very few people used them, but people did use them. Exactly, photos. Yes, indeed, Rune Sand. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. We lost that sunshine again. But for all you guys just joining us, let's go one more time through this beautiful stand of trees. Let's enjoy this one more time before making our way out to the rest of the park. Because this does not last very long, people. And no doubt after this live stream, everybody's going to come out here. But you can tell other live streamers that you started on Dutch Maz's channel first. That's old news. I saw it on Dutch's live stream already. Right next to the highway. Really pretty indeed. So beautiful. Yes, indeed. And oh, that I saw it already. That's old news. I watch Dutch Maz. That's old news. Lily, good to see you. Welcome. Isn't this beautiful? Right here in Queens, Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Ah, awesome, Karen. I hope you hit, Karen. I hope you hit. That reminds me, I gotta play that. Is Mega Millions tonight or Powerball tonight? Both jackpots are obscenely large. Mark, this is one of my favorite times of the year. Absolutely. Springtime and autumn are my favorite seasons because everything changes so fast and oh. It is really, really nice out here today. A little windy. It got cold. But as long as I keep moving, it's fine. As long as I keep moving, it's fine. Oh, we're getting a bad signal? Oh, wow. Having a signal issue over here. Well, Bat Lady will be going to the Brooklyn Botanical Garden once everything begins to blossom over there. We always go there every year. Spring is tomorrow, yes indeed. There we go. So Jake Chulo, no, we did not. We did not go back to the St. Patrick's house. Once I got home from yesterday's stream, I was out of it. I was tired. So me and the Duchess had a quiet evening, and we stayed home for the rest of the night. Yes, indeed, Mark. Yes, indeed. People are out here already excitingly seeing the blossoms. Wow, what's up with the signal all of a sudden? The signal's all messed up all of a sudden. Wow, I wonder why the signal's so weird. Guess some people have maybe some pocket Wi-Fi devices of their own. Yeah, the signal is blown away by the beauty, right? Yeah. I think so, Mark. I think you nailed it. There we go. Okay. AT&T. I don't use AT&T. I don't use AT&T. Let's walk around the outside of the park here. Why not? We got another hour to do here in the live stream, so let's walk around the other side of the park here. And we'll talk about some of the other pavilions at the World's Fair. Absolutely, JR. Exactly. If I hit the lottery, Bobby's not going to tell anyone. But you'll just notice that, like, I'll have a nice apartment to live stream from every sunrise, and we'll start traveling. Yeah, nobody uses AT&T even if they want to. Exactly. Yeah, the Men in Black are coming around to swipe everyone's memories. As we cross this bridge here, we go from the States Pavilion, or the area where all the United States are. So I think it's called the States, or the Pavilion of the States, into the transportation section. Going into the transportation section of the World's Fair, this featured the Ford Pavilion, which was the Magic Sky Ride. And then, of course, we're coming up right here. Once we get to the other side of the bridge, we will be at the GM Pavilion, which was Futurama 2. But the Ford Magic Skyway, you could ride inside of a full-size car. Here, at Futurama 2. Futurama 2, the most popular pavilion, Futurama 2. And this featured, basically you sat in a kind of a people mover, and you learned about the promise and joy of the automobile and the interstate highway system. That would have been right here. That pavilion welcomed at times up to 60,000 people a day. I'm happy they never built the machine that cut down the forest and then laid down the road. But Alexander Scorby, that's really random, but Alexander Scorby, he's the one who narrated it. And he has, out of all my voices that I like to note for narration, Alexander Scorby has probably one of the best deliveries and styles you could ever even imagine. A couple of more trees out off in that direction. Oh, and the ice cream truck is here. Hello. I should get an ice cream. I was craving ice cream, but it is cold out here, so let me not have an ice cream. Da 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 da. Da 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 na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Bum bum. Hey, hear the ice cream truck? Hello. It's cold, Lisa. I'm not gonna get ice cream. It's cold. It's probably gonna make me have to go pee. So I'm gonna hold up on the ice cream, even though I really wanted ice cream last night. But this is the transportation area of the 1964-65 World's Fair. Besides riding on the Ford Magic Skyway and riding in Futurama 2, you could visit the Port Authority Pavilion, which is right over there, and that is today called Terrace in the Park. Port Authority Pavilion showed you something crazy, like a 10-foot tall model of the original Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. By the way, I think that model still exists today at the Skyscraper Museum. But the Port Authority Pavilion showed you all the magic of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. You could also take a helicopter direct from the World's Fair to either the 30th Street Heliport or to the Lower Manhattan Heliport via New York Airways. You think you'll have some ice cream for supper? Awesome. Went to a wedding in there, nice. I heard it's a beautiful venue. I've actually never been inside that building. And I mean, it is just like just crazy to look at. So here is the zoo. Let's see the animals. Let's say hello to the Queen's animals here. Yeah, Terrace in the Park years ago. Going to a wedding. So you don't need to spend money to go to the zoo. You can just see it right here. Got the sheep. And the sheep are out today, not the rams and the other animals. Just the sheep. Oh, he's getting some sun. Look at this. This sheep is enjoying the sun. I could tell. Look at that. He's enjoying the sun. He or she is enjoying the sun. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, that's the good sun right there. Yeah, that's the good sun right there. Nice and warm. Yes, Karen. Yes. Terrace in the Park is a heliport. It was only used for the 64-65 fair as a heliport. I believe they have some equipment now on the roof of that building. A chill mood indeed. But yes, that was a heliport, and Probably some of the more iconic videos and films you'll see from the 64 65 fair are the helicopters taking off and landing at this building here. There you go, the Beatles were flown by helicopter from the helipad to Shea Stadium before the show. That was probably the only way to get them in and out of Shea Stadium, was to fly them out via helicopter. Then they landed on like the outfield, right? Something crazy like that. And all the girls screamed, and yeah, nobody could hear anything. And it was a historic moment in music right here in Queens. But Terrace in the park is right there. I would love to go inside that one day. On this side here, the very tiny and small Queens Zoo. Ah, Shea Stadium. Yes, indeed. When I went out to Queens the other day, I took the Port Washington branch out to, what was it called? Broadway. Took that station out in Broadway, deep in Queens, just on the other side of Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. I'd never rode that line before. Rode that line the other day, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's beautiful inside, I could imagine. It is an impressive building, yeah, it's a really cool bit of architecture. Really cool bit of architecture right there. And I could imagine how pretty it must be inside. Me and the Duchess ate some Colombian food, and yes. Let's see, would I get a drone so we could see the helipad? Well, I'm not gonna get a drone anytime soon, Lisa. But there is probably videos online already of the rooftop of Terrace in the park. So there's no doubt a bunch of videos already taken that show off the roof of Terrace in the park. Quite a few people who do drone videos here in New York City. I, for one, I don't want to get a drone because I'll probably break it like within the first week. Cameras on gimbals are good enough. Oh, really? The building was made to sway in case of an earthquake. Wow. Oh my God, Jay Chula. We went to this great Colombian restaurant slash bakery over in Flushing, Queens, and it was delicious. Your wife is Colombian? Yeah. My mom's Colombian, so. My mom's Colombian, my dad's Puerto Rican, so. Yeah. Colombian food is a way of life for me, and I got a can of La Colombiana soda, which, by the way, if they sell it in your supermarket, guys, if you like soda, you like something sweet, get that soda and treat yourself to something that's a really unique taste, and I'm amazed that it hasn't changed at all since I was a kid. My grandma used to kind of if I was a good kid, I would get a can of La Colombiana, and oh my God, that soda is so good. So I had a can of that, and it was good. Never had Colombian food until you met her. Yeah, Colombian food's pretty good. You know, rice and beans and arroz con pollo and what else? Skirt steak and stuff like that. It's good. Norm out there in Bangor, Pennsylvania, welcome. Off in the distance, you have the New York Hall of Science. And then I don't know if you can see just behind it, you have a Mercury rocket. Right, have you had the Colombian soda, La Colombiana? That coffee is freaking, I mean, that soda is amazing. It's never changed the taste. That's right, Jay Chula, that's right. Chicharrones are okay, yeah, those are pretty good. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that Mercury rocket. Or sorry, Gemini rocket. Colombian coffee is great. So you got that's a Gemini rocket. That's a Gemini capsule, right there. That's the rocket that had the first external vehicle stuff. Like the first spacewalk happened with that. And then just off to the left-hand side, you have your Friendship 7 rocket and the Redstone rocket. That was the rocket and capsule that John Glenn did his first orbit of the Earth in. Right over there. MS, good to see you. Welcome. Right over here, what are the last permanent buildings for the World's Fair from 1964-65? The New York Hall of Science. I think for the World's Fair, it was simply just called the Hall of Science. A beautiful structure, very unique, really cool looking. Gotta love that space stuff, absolutely. MXP just watched a video of Terrace in the park and had video on the rooftop. Yeah, the helipad has been built over. Yeah, I think there's some equipment up there or whatnot. Yeah, isn't it cool, JR? Got a rocket right there. Everyone looking at me nervously as they break the law. Okay. Love pastellas? Absolutely. Pastellas are fantastic. Oh my God, Jay Chulo, believe me, if I have the money, I'm going to Colombia to go live streaming. Right over here, we have a geodesic dome. Today, this is part of the Queens Zoo. It's an aviary. But back in the 1964-65 World's Fair, this was the pavilion that, there were a lot of countries that formerly that were not a part of the 1964-65 World's Fair because it wasn't a real World's Fair. And the United Kingdom was one of those countries that did not participate in that World's Fair. But this was kind of the United Kingdom's kind of offering, which was a small pavilion kind of talking about London and various industrial endeavors that the country was doing. The second year the World's Fair opened up in 65, Winston Churchill passes away, and this becomes a memorial to Winston Churchill. So people kind of got an idea of what Winston Churchill's life was and everything and all of his accomplishments, and that was for the second year of the fair. This geodesic dome has moved. It's not in its original spot as it was for the 64-65 fair, but it didn't move too far away, so it didn't move a very long distance. It was just somewhere in this general area right over here. So, but there you go. There's that geodesic dome. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes we're all negative. Colombian weed was the best back in the day. Yes, indeed. But gotta come back out to this park. Absolutely. One of the best parks in the city. It is for the birds now. Yeah, this was a memorial for Winston Churchill for the 1965 year of that fair. And I believe this geodesic dome was designed by Buckminster Fuller, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. Can you hear the birds? One of my pet peeves about Flushing Meadows Corona Park is that there's automobile traffic here in the park. When Flushing Meadows Park was first designed, it was meant to be a traffic interchange. Technically, this whole space here is a traffic interchange between the LIE, Grand Central Parkway, and I forgot the other two names of the other highways. But literally the whole park surrounding us is a massive traffic interchange. Technically, this is the geographic center of the New York tri-state area. So everything is pretty much an equal distance from this spot. And we're also including the suburbs into that. Yeah, there's a bird sanctuary in Staten Island, yeah. Beautiful shot here of the Queens Museum and the tent of tomorrow. We were just over there. Unfortunately, we're not going into the Queens Museum today because it's closed. Off to my left-hand side, we have the Billie Jean King Tennis Center and the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Where the Arthur Ashe Stadium stands today, that used to be the Pavilion of the United States. And then nearby, there's a smaller kind of tennis stadium. That is where the Singer Bowl was. And the Singer Bowl was built for the 39-40 fair and then later reused for the 64-65 fair. Today, that stadium is called the Louis Armstrong Stadium, because of course not that far from here, this is where Louis Armstrong bought a house and lived, over on 108th Street, deep in Corona, Queens. His house is of course a museum, and they've recently expanded the museum. But this is all the tennis center right over here. It's all the tennis center right here. This is why I'm not a fan of David Dinkins. It's because when they expanded the tennis center, I know they were like, take away a big chunk of the park. And they did. They did. Luckily now luckily they got rid of the whole turning the park into a parking lot for the US Open. They've stopped doing that. And that's thanks to Mayor de Blasio. Because literally the whole park will turn into a big parking garage. And they luckily have stopped that. But you see, you gotta be really careful here. This is like an off and on ramp right here. So I gotta look back. Let's see how close this guy gets. He's going at a pretty good clip here. And I'm taking my time as I'm in the park. Oh, he went right behind me. He went right behind me. All right, let's do another loop around here, show you guys some of these blossoming trees here around the Unisphere. Yeah, I know, that's true. So many developers see an empty space and think, yeah. You stayed across the street from his house. He had a pretty big house. Yeah, you know what, JR, you gotta go inside. You know, if there's one thing I hate Twitter for deleting my old videos, I actually got to do a live stream inside of the Louis Armstrong house. I wasn't able to walk around the house. I was only basically able to stay in one room. But it was incredible. I live streamed from Louis Armstrong's living room. The great thing about that museum is that everything is left as if he was still alive. So the house is exactly as he left it when he passed away. And when you go into different rooms of the house, you have audio that was recorded in that room. And Louis talked about, you know, shows that he played or some kind of memory. And what he did was he would have all his friends come over and they would play music. And he would record this, and he has tapes and tapes and tapes and tapes, hundreds of hours, maybe thousands of hours recorded. And it's basically Louis and all of his musician friends having a drink, having a good time, and their wives, by the way. Their wives would usually be towing along too. And they would just tell stories of, oh, you remember when we played this club, and remember when we did that, and oh, that was so much fun. And all these tapes have been meticulously digitized, and they are saved. And when you go to the museum, you could hear a lot of these tapes. So if there's any reason to go to that museum, is to hear that history from Louis Armstrong himself. Can't go wrong. Talk about active. Thanks for your time. I don't even know what you're talking about, Jonathan Earl. I don't know what active is. What is active? Anyway, there's the Arthur Ashe Stadium right there, and that brings you out right onto the Unisphere, which is right here. We're gonna do one last loop of the Unisphere and start heading home. Yeah, they had the jam sessions and stuff. MXP. Good to see you, Marty. And of course, Louis loved to have himself some tea, if you know what I mean. He used to love blowing tea. So of course, you can imagine the house would be full of tea, if you will, and playing music with a good strong drink. I wrote 6 for you for work. And then you've done at least... I have no idea what you're talking about, Jonathan. What's for dinner tonight? I have no idea about, lady. I have no idea what's for dinner tonight. We probably only walked about 3 miles today. We didn't do anything crazy today. Good to see you, John Lore, out there in Staten Island. Welcome. Yeah, check out the replay. That stand of trees, those cherry blossoms over by the tent. Excuse me, over by the tent tomorrow have bloomed. But we're going to take one last look of the blooming trees here along the Unisphere before heading on home. I could look at this thing all day. When the Unisphere was placed here for the 64-65 fair, a lot of people have memories of the Unisphere rotating. It never rotated, but the Unisphere did have a special lighting package that surrounded it, that it gave the illusion that the Unisphere had clouds, an atmosphere, and people likened that to the Unisphere actually rotating. So that's pretty cool. And I would give anything to see it. Now here we have it. Our beautiful early blossoming trees here at the Unisphere. Hey, remember those lights there, Bat Lady? You know, from what I've seen, film doesn't properly portray what it looked like. I think it probably looked a lot more amazing with the naked eye than it does on film. Oh, look at these trees here. So great. You're more than welcome, Creative Moments. Also, the lights of the capitals were lit up on the Unisphere. Another ice cream truck, yeah. That's how you know it's getting warm. Look at this approach that these planes do here. The trees are just starting to bloom in Snug Harbor. Oh, gonna have to get out there. Gonna have to get out there too. It makes a wide left-hand turn into runway 31. Look at that. Look at how cool that is. And that is the famous approach that Robert Moses did not like. When they were planning out the 64-65 fair, Robert Moses wondered, can we change the flight patterns? And you really can't. You're really stuck by the wind. Oh, that's a cool screenshot. That's a cool screenshot right there. Look at that, guys. Just for you guys. Just for you guys. Wait until the coqui carts and the Paraguaya. Did they have coquito carts, really? Un coquito. Está bien, un coquito. They got coconut. They got coconut drink here. Homemade coconut juice. Juego de coco. This is a nice little stand here. They got good stuff here. Let's enjoy these blossoming trees one more time before I begin to head home. I think we did good today. Love coquito. Yeah, coquito is good. I gotta be in the mood for it though. I have to be in the mood for coquito. I have to be in the mood for it. Is that your cart? It's good food in there. You know, they put mayonnaise once on a hot dog for me there, and it was really good. I love the 80s. I'm glad you enjoyed the tour. How long would it take for me to get home? Probably 2 hours today. Counting the whole ride home like to my door. It's going to be about 2 hours. Look at that. One last screenshot for you guys. With our beautiful blossoming trees here in Flushing Meadow. So now you know, if you're here in the New York tri-state area and you want some trees tomorrow, come on out to Flushing Meadow. Yeah, John, it was good though. The mayo was good. I'll see you later, I love the 80s. But there you go, we got some early blossoming trees here. The burrito kid, sounds good. Oh, there you go, Ramona. Thank you so much for the info. You're more than welcome, Leela. Yeah, the French put mayonnaise on French fries. Or as the British people call them, chips. Oh, hopefully you'll be here on Wednesday, Karen. Sounds good. Hopefully you hit, Karen. Hopefully you hit. That reminds me, on my way home, I gotta pick up a ticket. Yeah, Abomination. It's all right. It's good. I've had mayonnaise with French fries. It's all right. I still can get over the fact that the British call a brownie sticky toffee. A sign of the spring. An ice cream truck with blossoming trees. Hello. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yo 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 yo. Na na na, gotta get some ice cream. Na na na, gotta get some ice cream. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yes. Anyway, I got it out of my system. Hello. I got it out of my system. All right, let's go home. We got the trees. We got the trees covered. I think you can officially say now, you saw it on Dutch Maz's stream first. You saw it here first. Out of all the music, you know, out of all the ice cream music, you know, besides, I love the Mr. Softy theme because it actually has lyrics, but that ghetto ass one is just so cool. Especially the part where it goes, hello. Susanna, my. Okay. Words brought to us by Schaefer Beer and the all-new Pop Top. For people who like having fun, for people who like having more than one random thought. Schaefer is the one beer when you're having more than one. I will be careful going home. It's going to be an easy ride going home, Bat Lady. Taking the number 7 train to the N train. I'll be connecting at Queensboro Plaza. So a very easy way to get home. Yeah, it's like Pop Goes the Weasel, you know, it's like you don't know exactly what it is. You know she's coming home around the mountain, you know. Anyway. No one in the park. There's people here, but not a lot. It's a big park, Susanna. It's 800 something acres. It's a large park. People spread out. It's not like Manhattan. We're not in Midtown. But we are in New York City, in the borough of Queens. But I got an easy ride going home. We're in Queens. Everyone spreads out here in this park. Even on crowded days, it's not very crowded. Unfortunately, people think of New York City as just Midtown Manhattan and Times Square. This is why I like to go nowhere near Times Square. The National Guard is in the subway and they don't do much of anything. They're mostly, the National Guard is really only at like the main stations. So they're always at Grand Central and Penn Station. They've been always there. And they're only at a few big hub stations like 34th Street, Herald Square and stuff like that. Police, I have noticed more police riding on the trains and in the stations. So that is a notable change. But I, for one, I haven't felt unsafe in the train, and you know, the checking of the bags, that's security theater. So they're only going to check people's bags who say, oh, you want to check my bag? So it's like they don't really check bags. No, I don't go to Times Square, no. Queens is, other than Brooklyn, Jay, Queens is my favorite borough. Because Queens has the food, has the culture, has Flushing Meadows. I mean, there's always cool stuff to find in Queens. So, always. But I don't feel unsafe in the subway. I don't feel like I'm taking my life into my hands when I ride the subway. If you haven't figured it out, I'm a little street smart. I'm a lifelong New Yorker, so I know when it's dangerous and when it's not. But it's always good to be aware of your surroundings and, you know, keep your head on a swivel and whatnot. And, you know, common sense stuff. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It's like common sense stuff will keep you safe in the subway. Outside Manhattan is always nicer. Yes, indeed. Cheese Puff asks the half a question. How far subway stop 2? I don't know. Marty saw the National Guard and the NYPD at the turnstiles at Columbus Circle. Yeah, like I said, it's the main hub stations is where they usually gather the National Guard as of late. It's not a new thing, though. I mean, the National Guard kind of pops up here and there and everywhere, so. Good to see you, NYC girl. Welcome. Exactly, John. Yes, unless you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. Locked in a train with some guy starting fights with random people. But unfortunately, people think that, like, they see one video and then they're like, oh, all of New York is like that. And it's not. But again, I understand, and I guess this is a message to Cash Jordan and everyone who likes to focus on the negative stuff. There is money to be made in negativity and showing the downside and the bad side and the dangerous side to places. And I get it. It's easy views and it makes money. So I, for one, am not going that route. Unless something happens to us right here in front of the camera. And it happened here last time. We got scoped out by some guys with scooters, and, you know, I was pretty sure I was getting sized up to be robbed. You know, unless it happens right in front of us, you know, I'm not going to focus or look for it. So, anyway, good to see you, Donna. Good afternoon. Yes, indeed, Bat Lady. Cash Jordan is propaganda? I wouldn't call him propaganda, but I mean, he's hard up for views. He's hard up for views and he's taking the easy way out. I mean, I could just go over to Roosevelt Avenue right now and show all the sweethearts standing on the street you know, and that'll get me lots of views, but I refuse to do something like that because those women who are selling themselves on the street are put in a really bad situation because they're in a really bad spot in their lives. And I'm not going to focus on that, capitalize on that, and make money off that. So anyway, yeah, he has, you know, his videos have a very negative undertone. Yeah, exactly. Most of what he's saying is true. He's just making it more dramatic because drama gets you views here on YouTube. Focusing on the negative and sensationalism is lazy. I appreciate that, Brian. We've made it. We've made it, people. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to use the restroom before hopping on the train. But let's end this live stream exactly where I began this live stream, which is right here on this bench. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a pleasure taking you guys around New York City and around Flushing Meadows Corona Park today. If it's your first time watching this nonsense, make sure to subscribe to the Dutch Moz Family Networks here on YouTube and on Instagram. All same name, @Dutch Moz, and make sure you hit the notification bell because I never know when I'm going to go live next. We should be back on tomorrow. I have no idea what I'm going to do tomorrow, so stay tuned and find out. But from Flushing Meadows Corona Park here in Corona, Flushing, Queens, this is Dutch Moz signing off. Have a fantastic Queens Day, whether you live here or not. I want you to hug your loved ones, cherish those moments. And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.